Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Galley La Podcast with your hosts, Geboss and Akainu Fanboy. And
Yo.
and we're going to be reviewing the first two episodes of the Jujutsu Kaisen Shibuya arc. So please like and subscribe if you like our content, and we're going to be bringing you plenty of content soon. So look forward to that. So, I think I've been hyping up this arc for a while to you, who's anime only. So, are you surprised at how it started with a slice of life part?
Yeah, I thought the slice of life was interesting. I think usually with some of these animes, when it's all slice of life oriented, I kind of like with Chainsaw Man. I was kind of thinking about this too. A lot of bad shit happens afterwards, or it gets very brutal and intense. So that's kind of how I interpreted it and everything. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was nice to just kind of, have something different, I guess, for once with this,
Yeah. I recently rewatched the whole series, and a lot of the smaller slice of life moments get to really show all the other characters outside of fighting. But yeah, I really liked it. I like how Nobara's just like really petty, because when Ozawa's like, do you have any interest in Yuji? And she's like, no. And then she's like, oh, why did my heart skip a beat? And then I originally thought that it was like, oh, it's gonna be like she secretly likes him, but it turns out that she's like, no, I want to get a boyfriend before he gets a girlfriend. That's why.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I think that Nobara is just a very refreshing female character.
Yeah, no, yeah, she's pretty funny and is definitely something different. And I did like the Ozawa, basically dynamic. I thought it was just like a nice, cute slice of life story, and that was about it for it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I also forgot to mention that we see that from the. It seems like so long ago that from the Tokyo versus Kyoto school fight, you got Todo and Meimei recommending the students for promotion in their ranks. So you get, I think it's Panda, Maki, and then Nobara, Fushiguro, and Yuji all being put up for promotion. And they didn't have to go that hard for that ping pong scene.
No, it was a necessity. But yeah, so it was kind of interesting how they kind of like transitioned to the Mechamaru part, which escalated quickly. Yeah, so I don't know. They didn't really like set up too much for a traitor thing, which I don't really think is a negative per se, but it was just kind of something different how quickly they brought up this traitor plot point,
Yeah. I mean, they kind of brought it up toward the beginning of the Tokyo versus Kyoto stuff. But yeah, it's not really I forget what exactly he was like supplying them information for. Maybe to like get into the barriers. But yeah, what do you think of like Mechamaru as a character?
Kind of a downer, right? He's like a downer of a person. So when he fought Panda and everything, he kind of had this expectation, I think, that he's gonna take Panda's words to heart and be less of a pessimist of life and move forward, even though he's suffering something very traumatic and stuff. But obviously the words didn't really hit him in the end. you know? He basically wanted to have his cake and eat it too, essentially, you know? And I guess, like, it's kind of different, like, a contrast to Yuta, because the reason why I'm bringing up Yuta is because Panda brought up Yuta in the context of talking to him, you know? Where he was saying something to the effect that Yuta is willing to risk his life, and he's willing to work very hard to save his friends, essentially, right? And Yuta never really did anything evil to accomplish that goal, you know? While Mechamaru is kind of like, oh, but I can do it, right? Which is just kind of like a very arrogant way of thinking he can accomplish it, you know?
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit different for Mechamaru because he's his whole life he's been like crippled, so he's been burdened with that his whole life, whereas Yuta's just kind of been dealing with Rika for about like only half of his life since Rika died when he was younger.
It's still like a traumatic thing, and something like a demon that's like haunting you too, you know, and everything, you know, like, because like I think similarly too, he wanted to give up on life, Yuta, right? You know, like I think it even said he was trying to kill himself in the beginning of that movie until Gojo kind of brought it back, and Mechamaru was like in a similar place of despair though, but they dealt with their suffering differently, you know. So I think it's interesting how the mangaka kind of brings up the comparison of the two in the context of Panda when they're discussing this moment, you know.
But yeah, I think so I think we'll be just talking about this whole fight that spanned from episodes 30 to 31, and I don't know, I mean, in the end we see Mechamaru gets defeated by Mahito, and just looking at this again, he seems more of like a tragic character because but like you said, he wanted both sides. He wanted to be fixed while maintaining kind of his innocence in a way, because he was going with all this information to Gojo. That was his plan after he got healed. It was just a means to an end.
Yeah, and I did like his design and everything, like his human design, and it was cool to see like how powerful he got. They get to mention that he had special grade power for a bit, you know. But again, I think his arrogance really pays off because he assumed the fight was finished. He goes for Geto and then he gets taken out, right? And so there's just arrogance that just plagues him throughout his whole character. But at the same time, I do like his character a lot because it's a very tragic character, right? But I think like just because you have suffering in this life and just because you're, you know, have struggles, that doesn't mean that, like, it doesn't give you the right to do bad so that good may come. But that furthermore, it doesn't mean that you're gonna have a happy ending either, you know? Because like they show the tragedy with him and Kasume, right? The blue hair girl, right? Like they're trying to emphasize that more. It's like, you know, first they Itadori and then like kind of his girl. I don't know where that goes to, but you know, it's kind of a happy, nice thing. But it's really tragic. Like, you know, he obviously loves her and all this stuff, and she's starting to develop an interest in him, and then it's just kind of all taken away, you know. And so I do like that in a way. I do like how there is a body count in the series, that there is a sense that something tragic can happen in the series, you know, like characters you like might die, you know.
There's no
the bad guys get boobies.
Yeah, there's not like insane plot armor for characters like in other shows.
Yeah, and to anger the Hunter x Hunter intellectuals out there, I still like care and have a development towards, because tragedy requires you to care about the characters for it to be tragic, right? While I think sometimes with Hunter x Hunter, for example, they kill off tons of characters, but you want to have the strongest emotional attachment to them, you know.
You didn't cry when Ponzu died?
I thought that was actually kind of sad, but it was just kind of like they died and they were never brought up again.
Yeah.
kind of thing. You know, like it's just quasi nihilistic for a lot of the parts of that series, but I don't really get that vibe here. Like with Mechamaru's death, it's like no, like something tragic and terrible has happened, you know. And that requires kind of an objective meaning, you know, like someone like someone's life who had value did die, and it was tragic that he went through all these various emotions and he didn't make it out in the end, right? You know, while Hunter x Hunter, I just don't see that as much. But like I said, I'm bringing that out not to hate on Hunter x Hunter. I'm just using it. This is a nice balance of people actually dying, but you actually care about the player characters as well. You know?
Yeah. I think you're gonna make some people angry, but
good.
It's all about different opinions, but
incorrect ones.
Sure. But yeah, I like the overall fight and animation with it as well. It like I was surprised that they didn't go like full 3D for the mech that he had.
Yeah,
because that for like more complicated stuff, they tend to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is where they start introducing stuff like with domains countering other domains and such. Which kind of is a little confusing when I read it in the manga, but I think it makes sense here. Did you find it confusing at all about that?
Yeah, I kind of wish it was explained a little bit more simplistically, but maybe I need to go back to season 1 to kind of review it, you know? So, to kind of get more out of the fight scenes and everything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that I don't know, because I think they also skipped over the fact that Mechamaru's like using his life energy, like that was saved up for 17 years. That's why his attacks are like he calls out like 1 year, 5 years, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think they explained that as much, but yeah, but I liked it. And then we get to see like Miwa talking with like basically the empty body of Mechamaru at the school, which just sad.
Yeah, like kind of the words he was hoping for the most. He's not even there to hear them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the language is, I suppose that's because being too close would make it even more painful when we die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I love the tragedy. It's really good, you know? And it's kind of cool because it's kind of like another JJK sorcerer, like defecting like Geto, right? You know, so they both defect, but one's still trying to come back to the light, if you will. And it didn't turn out for the best too. So, like I said, I kind of like the moral complexity that comes into the show. I think it's done very well, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And then we switch over to Halloween night in Shibuya, where a barrier is formed and a large group of people gets sucked into the underground. So then we see our teams of sorcerers being put around everything, being put around the barrier, and Gojo coming in. So do you have any thoughts or theories about how this is going to go? Or
a lot of people are going to die. That's my prediction. We'll see. That's me not having any spoilers, but that's just, I think it's kind of maximized, especially the gentleman with the beanie. I'm trying to see.
Oh yeah, Ina.
I like, you know, yeah. We're saying so blocking cell phone signals, and so nothing can be going out in the side out of the veil. It's like, okay, yeah, everyone's gonna be getting killed. Basically, that's just kind of my my disposition towards this. Yeah, so they're kind of setting it up like that, at least, you know. So it'll be good. I'm excited, scared, worried, all the rest, you know. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no concrete predictions yet.
No, just death.
I mean, we can call death all we want, but it's kind of not a blanket thing, but yeah.
Bedwetting, maybe that's a better comparison. Yeah.
But yeah, these were some good setup episodes for the story, and I think I saw one of the animators post on Twitter, be like, "Oh, you haven't seen anything yet about what's to come out." So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we did it.
Yeah. So once again, like and subscribe if you like our content, and let us know what you guys thought about the episodes. And we should be posting this up on Wednesday, so tomorrow there should be a new episode, and we should be getting the review out soon. So until then, take care.
Peace.